Okay, this is going to be an SOL level 1 review video. These are like level 1 questions in the SOL. I want to go over from our summative that you use all Desmos. You should not be using a pencil or paper for these, okay? All right, so what I got here, they want me to put in 8 for A, 16 for B, and -4. It's very important that I use parentheses when I do that, okay? Let me pull this Desmos out, make it easier, okay? All right, so what I want to do, oops, sorry. All right, so I can see the problem, okay? What I want to do is I'm going to hit 5, then functions, then I'm going to find miscellaneous or scroll down till you find this little thing here. That allows me to type the 3, okay? Inside I'm going to type 8 with parentheses. I'm going to click outside, minus, I got C, C is -4, so I'm going to put -4 with parentheses. Then I'm going to put square root. Then I'm going to put B with parentheses, which is 16. I'm going to click over here. Let me do it, sorry, 5, hit the thing, 3, parentheses, 8, minus parentheses, -4, square root, parentheses 16, all right, hit over, okay, all right, plus 9, and it tells me 35, which that's B, okay, 35, all right, moving on to this question, okay, all right, what is f of -8, okay, so what I want to do is I want to put -8 in here. Now, anytime you have this top part, some kind of fraction like that, my recommendation, okay, is put parentheses around the top part of your fraction. So 11, then parentheses again. I've got that x, which is -8, so I'm going to do parentheses -8, close it, minus 24, close the top part, divided by, okay, all right, 2. All right, tells me -176, which is C. Okay, you may get away with just doing 11 parentheses and then putting the -8 inside, minus 24, closing it and hitting division. Yep, that ends up working too. All right, so you got to play around with that till you get, all right, -176, which would be answer C. Okay, moving on to this one. Okay, all right, solving equations. Anytime you have a solving equation question, what I want to do is I want to graph that in Desmos. 3x minus 20 equals -2x. Okay? All right? And I look at where does it cross the x-axis? It crosses at 4. All right? So that would be answer C as well. All right? Question number 4. Okay? All right? Click on that. Okay? Now, once again, you need to be careful. Okay? I'm going to do this fraction thing. I want to put parentheses there. So 3x plus 4 parentheses divided by 6. Click over here. Equals parentheses 4x. Okay. Minus 8. Close the parentheses. Divide by 3. Okay. All right. I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit so I can see. I click there. I find out the answer is 10. Okay. Which 10 would be letter D. Okay. All right, now these inequality questions, okay? All right, I want to do them the same exact way as I was doing those other ones, okay? All right, so I want to type these in to Desmos, all right? That's 6x, all right, minus 11, minus 13x, less than, which is right here, 7 minus 5x, okay? Now, if I click there, that's -9. Now, we have to be careful, okay? I'm going to pull this up just as a note, okay? If your point is shaded like this, it's going to be x is less than. If it's like shaded like this, it's x is greater than. If it's a solid line and it's shaded that way, x less than, okay? Solid line shaded to the right, x greater than or equal to, sorry. Less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. And then whatever your number is goes over here, okay? All right, so we gotta be careful of where that is, okay? So if I look at this, this is at -9, it's shaded that way and it's dashed. So what I would do, as far as typing in my answer, okay, I would type in x greater than, I just gotta delete that, I think. Delete, all right, -9. Okay, and that's how I would type that answer in. Okay, all right. All right, select all those that end up being, have an x-intercept of 3. So what I'm looking for is where does that cross the x-axis at? Okay, all right, so let's delete that. So let's do the first one. I got -4x, all right, since that's up top, I should probably put parentheses. -4x plus 15, not 15y, just 15 divided by 2, or divided by 5. Where does that cross? 3.75, not good enough. All right, then I got 3 minus 1 divided by 2, click over here, x squared, okay? All right, that's 2.4, -2.4, so that's not one of my answers. Then I got 5 divided by 3, click over here, x minus 5. All right, that crosses at 3, okay? So that would have been one of my answers, okay? X-intercept, where does it cross the x-axis? All right, parentheses, x plus 3, okay? X minus 5. Crosses at -3 and 5, that's not one of my answers, okay? Then 3x squared minus 11x, oops, that's too many x's, 11s. Minus 11x plus 6. Okay, that crosses at 0.67. That crosses at 3, so that would be the second one that I pick. Okay, all right. Another inequality question. Okay, another inequality question. All right. So I got -2x plus 6 less than x minus 6. Okay, so I click there. It's all being shaded to the right. So what I would type in there is x is greater than, okay, I'll type in x greater than 4. Okay, all right, the reason why that was that shaded to the right. Okay, all right, now here's another one. Let's see if I can see that. All right, so what I want to do for these, same deal. I want to type these into Desmos. Y equals, all right, -x plus 2. 7x plus 4y equals -1. All right, now where does that intersect at? Right there. It's x is -3, y is 5. So what do they want? They want the x value of the solution. Okay, so my solution, x value is -3, which would be answer B. Okay, it asked me for this one. What are the solutions? Okay, well, that crosses at 1, 2, 3, 4. That's pretty clear. Okay, so if you're doing process elimination, I know this -2 can be a little hard to see, but this crosses at -2, this crosses at 4. So that's automatically going to be answer C. Remember, anytime they ask for solutions, it's where it crosses the x-axis. Okay, now, here's another question, except this time you have to make the graph. Okay, all right, so I got 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. You don't really need the equals 0. I'm going to hit home so I can see it a little bit better, maybe even zoom in. Okay, so if I click there, that's -1.5 and -1. Okay, so let's say you're being a good test taker. Okay, you got 2 negative numbers. This is your only answer. Now, if you had any question, well, Mr. Evans, I don't know what -3/2 is. Just put that into your calculator. That's -1.5. Okay, all right, so that's why that answer is C. Make sure you don't get too far zoomed out on some of this stuff. Okay, all right, what is the factor? Okay, all right, now, let's move this over here. Okay, so what I should do when they ask for factors is I should check for a GCF. And I go to Functions, GCD, that's going to be 1, that's going to be 12, That's going to be negative 32. I'm sorry, that's going to be 1, 12, 32. Okay? Now, my GCF is 1. I don't need to worry about that. Now, what I want to do is I want to graph this. X squared minus 12x minus 32. Okay? All right, I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit. All right. Whoops, plus 32, sorry. Come on, there we go. All right, so it crosses at 4, and it crosses at 8. So when you factor, all right, you should always check for a GCF first. That could be one of your factors. Then you want to find the solutions and convert to factors. How do I convert? It is opposite signs, okay? So, if my solutions in this case were 4 and 8, the factors are x minus 4 and x minus 8. And if there was a GCF, that would go here. So I gotta look at, what did I have? That's gonna be answer B. That's the closest one. Okay? Now, 12. Very tricky question. Okay? And then let me show you how this one would work. Okay? Let me show you how this one would work. All right? I would do functions, GCD, 9, negative 39, and negative 30. That is going to be 3. So that GCF has to be checked off there. You've got to include that. Okay? Now, I want to just graph this. 9x squared minus 39x minus 30. Okay? All right, I might have to zoom in so I can see. All right, it crosses at negative 0.6 repeating, okay? And it crosses at 5. So the 5 will automatically turn into x minus 5, okay? Now, the challenge here for this is, what is this decimal, okay? Now, I would try to make that, see if that's negative 2/3. And that is that decimal, okay? All right? You can play around with the repeating number. It's usually divided by 3, okay? But you can play around with that number, okay? All right? So, from that standpoint. Now, here's what, if you're being a good test taker. You know it's not this one, okay? You know it's not this one, all right? If it's minus, it's going to turn into a plus. So these are the only 2 choices you have, okay? Well, which one would produce that? Well, if I solved that for 3x plus 2, let's subtract 2, that's 3x equals negative 2, and divide by 3. That's x equals negative 2/3, okay? All right, and so that one would be the other one that I would check. Challenging, okay? All right, here's another one, all right? I got to try to find the factors of that, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try that GCF first, okay? Functions, GCD, I got 1, I got negative 6, okay? That's 1, so there is no GCD, so I want to graph that. X squared minus x minus 6, okay? All right, I got solutions at negative 2, I got a solution at 3. So what does that mean for me? If I got a solution at negative 2 and a solution at 3, this would be x plus 2, x minus 3. Just change the sign. So which one is that? All right, let's look at that. Which one would that be? That would be C, minus 3. Okay? All right? Okay, based on the zeros, which one? You can do this a number of ways. Okay? All right? It's crossing here and here. Let's do a graph match. Okay? And what a graph match is go ahead and type that in, these answers in, and see which graph matches it. X minus 3, whoops, not 3y, but 3, and 2x plus 2. Okay? All right? Now, if you look at my picture, okay, I might zoom in a little bit so I can always hit that home button so you can see. Okay? Crosses here, crosses here. Does that match up? It does not. That can't be the answer. Let's put in 2x plus 6, x plus 1. Okay, 2x plus 6. Okay? All right, if you notice, that crosses over here, so that's not the answer. let's put in this one. 2x plus 3 and x minus 1. Whoops, I need to print this. All right. Once again, that does not cross at the right spot. So it's got to be this one. 2 and then x minus 3 and x plus 1. X minus 1. Okay, crosses here, that's the vertex, that's the exact graph match that I want, which would be letter D. Okay? All right, it says select the number that represents the region. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to go ahead and graph that. Let me move over here so we can see. All right, so I got y greater than or equal to 2 divided by 3 with an x with a plus 1. And then I got 5x plus 6y less than or equal to negative 30. And what I'm looking for is where is the darkest area? Well, the darkest area is here, so that would be number 2, okay? So wherever your darkest area is, that's what you want to graph. What are the x-intercepts and y-intercepts? Once again, you can graph this. F of x is a fancy symbol for y. Negative 4x plus 2. Okay, I'm going to hit the home button so I can see. X-intercept at a half, y-intercept at 0,2. Okay, x-intercept at a half, y-intercept at 0,2. That's going to be answer D. Okay? Which thing is not a function? As a reminder, all right, 2 ways things are not functions. X's repeat. Okay? If you have any kind of graph in any kind of way, even this, if you draw a vertical line and it passes through more than one time, even if I do a vertical line, it's passing through all of these. These answers are all not, okay? So when I go back to the screen, which one is not? Well, the only one that's not is going to be that one. It's going to be letter A, okay? Okay? Which relation is a function? Well, let's go function by function here. Would this be yes or no? Well, since these 2 negative 3's repeat, this would be a no. These 4's repeat. This is a no. A vertical line. This is a no. So the only one that actually is a yes is that one. Okay? All right. Moving on. Question 19. Use the quadratic curve. So that is a dead giveaway. Also, you can look at the equations to figure it out. Now, the idea is this is the x, this is the y. Okay? All right? That is the x, that's the y. So I go to table. Okay? I go negative 80, 80.4. I got negative 7, 57.8, negative 6, 38.6, negative 5, 22.8, 3, 18.8, 5, 51.8, 7, 98.4. Okay? Now my equation, and you have this in the chart, would be y1, ABC button, little squiggle line here. All right? A, x, 1 squared plus b, x, 1 plus c. Okay? Now, they're telling me that the number in front of x squared is 1.7. Next number is 2.9. Last number is negative 5.2. Okay? So the closest answer to that would be letter D. Okay? This one is the line of best fit. And also I can look at what they've written there. Okay? All right? So same concept, a little bit different of equations. So you got to know those equations. All right? So I got, make my table. 1, 2, 2, 4, 3, 5, 4, 7, 5, 9, 6, 11. Okay, different equation. Y1, curve thing, B, X, 1 plus C. and they tell me this is 1.7, this is 0.3, that's gonna be letter A. Okay, all right? All right, and so that is going to be it for this, level 1, all right? Next video will be a level 2 based video.